guys, welcome back to the Frivolous Father. Today we have another frivolous theory. I've been dwelling on this one for a little bit now. I've been heavily into the DC hub on HBO Max, and we've been watching a bunch of Batman movies, to include some of the ones that are more Robin centric or Nightwing centric, or ones that lean a little more towards Damian Wayne and all, basically a lot of just different Batman properties. And it led me to ask myself this question: is Batman Gotham's worst villain? Now, let me start by saying I have honestly never read a Batman comic. The way I've consumed Batman properties is specifically through TV and movies. I've seen almost all animated versions of Batman and even more live action depictions. I am far from a Batman expert, but I've seen enough to get the gist of who he is. Batman's main alter ego is Billionaire Bruce Wayne. This billionaire does not actually help out his city. Bruce Wayne does have a charity that he runs called the Wayne Foundation. The Wayne Foundation seems like a good idea on paper, but in practice, I can't honestly say that it does any good. The foundation does donate to some causes such as medical research, infrastructure throughout Gotham, and steady donations to the various orphanages throughout the city. It does need to be said that even though the Wayne Foundation participates in all sorts of philanthropy, it rarely is Bruce Wayne directly contributing to the city. Bruce Wayne is a philanthropist in the same way that Jeff Bezos is. Even through the Wayne Foundation, not much gets done. I can't point to a single example of Bruce Wayne or the Wayne Foundation actually doing charity work that made a difference. To say that Bruce Wayne is a billionaire is an understatement. In my opinion, he is at least a trillionaire. The highest Bruce Wayne's net worth has ever actually been reported was $100 billion. On average, his net worth is reported to be around $10 billion. If you take into account the price of all the gadgets, the damage, and the Justice League fund, I feel like Bruce has more money than he reports. The gadgets alone add up to high multi-millions. Let's not even talk about the plethora of Bat-themed vehicles. Then factor in the damage that he pays for, unless the taxpayers pay for it. Finally, the facilities and finances that go into the Justice League and have to be astronomical. All of the super suits, training facilities, secret bunkers, and bases add up to 9 digits also. That leads me to wonder as to where Bruce Wayne actually derives his income. I understand that he inherited millions from his parents, but how has he not spent it all by now? Is it through investments, cryptocurrency, or some other nefarious means? Some timelines suggest that Thomas Wayne's money wasn't the cleanest. Did the Bat Son follow in Bat Dad's footsteps? As I stated earlier, Bruce seems to have more money outgoing than he should be able to keep up with, yet somehow he never really loses his billionaire status. Where does the money for Wayne Enterprises come from? Where does Bruce Wayne get his money? If I can be honest, I think there's some creative accounting at Wayne Enterprises. Maybe Lucius Fox moved the decimal point somewhere, or some anonymous donors. Maybe the board members received contributions from some seedy individuals, or politicians in Wayne Enterprises' pockets could give them the first pick of construction and real estate bids. That, along with the constant collateral damage that the city takes from Batman's escapades, essentially turns Gotham into Bruce Wayne's ATM. Gotham City has a mental health problem. I challenge anyone to search through Batman's rogues gallery and find a sane mind. Aside from the criminally insane, Gotham is overrun by people suffering from psychopathy, identity disorders, and broken souls. You'd be hard-pressed to find a truly stable mind anywhere in that city. Not only do the people have mental health problems, it seems like the government and healthcare system doesn't actually care about it. Gotham is in dire need of some sort of oversight committee to monitor the mental health of its people. There seems to be only 2 kinds of care for the mentally disturbed: ignore them or Arkham Asylum. When it comes to the worst healthcare, Arkham Asylum takes the cake. For some reason, Arkham Asylum is still used for the criminally insane long after the place is found to be corrupt. Batman has even found corruption at Arkham Asylum in the form of Dr. Hugo Strange. This Doctor Strange may not be the master of the mystic arts, but he can be viewed as a master of making mutants. Hugo is a brilliant mind, but it's also a Gotham brilliant, which means he's a little crazy. Hugo Strange spends a lot of his free time torturing or experimenting on the patients of the asylum, and Arkham has no shortage of patients to use as subjects. The weird thing is that it seems like the entire staff is in on it. Arkham was a former employer to Dr. Harleen Quinzel, aka Harley Quinn, the clown princess of crime. The same Harley Quinn who helped the Joker escape countless times. The orderlies are often minions of the Joker, or worse, Dr. Hugo Strange. They have no problem dragging a patient into an experiment or even beating a patient for relatively no reason. Another flaw that Arkham seems to have is its almost open door policy. Once admitted to Arkham, it feels like you can just walk out with how relaxed security is. Sometimes the security will even hold the door for you, all of which Batman is extremely aware of. On the subject of corruption, let's talk briefly about Gotham PD. They're corrupt. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But seriously, what's up with the police force in Gotham City? They show up to the scene of a crime and then wait for Batman to show up and solve it for them. Now, this might be a little of my ignorance showing, but outside of Commissioner Gordon, I can't think of one good police officer. Now, let's shift directions a little bit. Aside from the criminally insane that Batman likes to beat up, there's the little boys that he takes in and teaches his poor coping mechanisms to. Batman leaves an unbelievable trail of broken bodies and minds in his wake. Among some of those broken minds are the many Robins who have fought alongside Batman. Starting with probably the most famous Robin, Dick Grayson. Grayson was the youngest of the Flying Graysons, an acrobatic circus family. His family was killed by a mob boss, and then he was adopted by Bruce Wayne. After his stint as the Boy Wonder, he saw how toxic Batman was and had to learn to move on his own as Nightwing. Next is Jason Todd, aka Red Hood. Jason was Grayson's less acrobatic replacement. Batman thought he was helping the kid by taking him in, but ended up getting him killed. By the Joker, no less. Versions vary, but essentially Jason Todd got killed by the Joker and revived in the Lazarus Pit. Shortly after, he became the Red Hood, a Batman-like vigilante, but 1,000 times more lethal. We don't even need to talk about Bruce Wayne's homicidal son, Damian Wayne. Kid's crazy. Since Bruce Wayne has become Batman, there's been virtually no change in the crime rate. Some could argue that it got worse with the rise of the Bat. Prior to Batman, organized crime was running rampant. After Batman, organized crime has not gone anywhere. But now we have an influx of supervillains and super terrorists. Batman has no problem beating up petty criminals, but when it comes to the leaders of organized crime, they are given chances and used for information. The guys robbing the old lady get beat to a pulp, but the mob bosses giving out extortion orders get let off with a warning. Batman seems to have no real issue with crime when it suits him. He is really just another mentally disturbed man dressing up to beat on other mentally disturbed individuals. Finally, the creme de la creme. Batman's nemesis, the clown prince himself, Joker. Why is he still an issue? On what planet can someone repeatedly murder, torture, destroy, terrorize, and then still get to live? Joker is a scourge on the earth. If there ever was a justification for killing someone, the Joker has got that, passed with flying colors. The only reason he is still an issue is because as Gotham's protector, Batman won't kill him or let someone else finish the job. Batman even goes out of his way to save Joker's life on multiple occasions. For some convoluted reason, Batman thinks that killing a killer brings you down to their level and taints you somehow. And that's understandable for first-time offenders or someone with a misguided sense of justice, but that is not this situation. The Joker tortured and paralyzed Barbara Gordon. He beat Jason Todd to death with a crowbar. He even managed to get Superman to kill Lois Lane. Luckily, in that last example, Superman finally put the Joker out of his misery. But that is one of the very few examples where the Joker was officially put down. And I mean put down. Joker is like Batman's rabid dog that's let off the leash. He bites everyone, including his owner, but the owner will refuse to stop the nuisance. As the world's greatest detective, he somehow still hasn't figured out the Joker's real identity. Batman still can't figure out a solid way to stop Joker. Always the same. Joker commits crime, Batman foils crime, Joker goes to Arkham Asylum, and then Joker escapes. Then the cycle continues. Batman knows this, yet he keeps going. Some say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. It's almost like the Bat enjoys playing the games as much as the Joker. The back and forth between Batman and the Joker seems more like a dance than a battle. It seems like two friends playing chess, where the citizens of Gotham are the pawns. How many people has Batman inadvertently killed by allowing the Joker to continue? How many lives have been irreversibly ruined because Batman is unwilling to make a permanent solution to this repetitive problem? Is Batman just as crazy as the Joker for allowing these things to happen? All that being said, I leave you with this one question. Is Batman the worst villain in Gotham? Tell me why or why not in the suggestion box below. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. I want you guys to know that I really appreciate you. I appreciate every like, every subscription. I appreciate every comment that you guys give me. Click up here for more reactions. Click up here for more reviews. And also, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about me, my setup, or anything you guys want to see me do in the future, go ahead and drop it down in that suggestion box below. As always, take it easy.